Oh, no, maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
We are convening the meeting. It's great to see everyone's beautiful smiling faces. Happy New Year. And thanks for coming here on an evening when you could be at home having dinner and enjoying yourself. Because you're here because you love this beloved community and you're here to make it even more beloved. So thank you. We're going to start our agenda. So I just called us to order, and let's start with the Honolulu Fire Department. Thank you guys for coming. Really appreciate it.
Okay. I'm Captain Ma from the Honolulu Fire Station, and these are the confirmed number of incidents in this area from the previous month. If you want more details for incidents and related mapping info, please visit Fire Response Search Tool on our HFD website, fire.honolulu.gov, under News and Info tab. If you have any questions, please email hfdnhb@honolulu.gov. So, incidents, statistics for December, fires, there was one structure fire, no wildland or brush fires, there are 2 nuisance fires, no cooking fires, and 2 activated alarms with no fire. In emergencies, there were 48 medical emergencies. Motor vehicle collision with pedestrians, 0. Motor vehicle crash collisions, there were 5. No mountain rescues, 1 ocean rescue, and then no hazardous materials incidents. The fire safety tip is electrical safety in the home. Check for electrical hazards in your home. Here are some tips to keep your ohana safe. Plug 1 heat-producing appliance, such as a coffee maker or toaster, into a wall receptacle outlet at a time. Major appliances, such as refrigerator, dryers, stoves, should be plugged directly into a wall receptacle. Extension cords and power taps or strips should not be used. Check electrical cords to ensure that they are not running across the doorways or under carpets. Extension cords are intended for temporary use. Have a licensed electrician install additional receptacle outlets to eliminate using extension cords. Ensure electrical work is performed by a licensed electrician. Questions?
Any questions for our fire department? Okay, there being none, thank you very much. Appreciate it. You're quite a turnout. Thank you all for coming. Yeah, appreciate it. So we're going to go to the police department. Thank you, guys.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Happy New Year. I'm Lieutenant Villaflor. I'm with the District 4 Police Department, District 4. I'm one of 3 lieutenants that runs this site from Kahuku all the way to Waimanalo. And this is one of my sergeants that he runs this immediate area. And he has 4 officers patrolling, 4 to 5 officers patrolling on this area. So I'm going to turn it over to him so he can read the stats.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Vincent. And for the month of November, motor vehicle thefts were numbered at 6, burglary at 2, theft at 6, UEMV at 7, and robberies 0. For the month of December, the motor vehicle theft stats are 7, burglary 3, theft 7, UEMV 4, and robbery 0.
Thank you for that. Do we have any questions for our police department? I think we have a few. Let's start with Dottie. Does she have a microphone there? Can you hand her one, please?
Hi, Dottie Kelly Paddock. Are those statistics, they sound up, like everything is up. Is that correct?
It looks, relatively consistent, there. I mean, it looks like there was one more auto theft than the previous month. There was one more burglary reported than the previous month. Theft, there was one more also in that category. UEMB, which is unauthorized entry in a motor vehicle, it was down, and robbery 0. So it had a small uptick with one in each category there.
Just made me wonder if, given that we're going through such hard times for people right now, if that's kind of driving more problems in communities. Are these focused in one community is having more of these problems than others?
Not to my knowledge, it's
Okay.
a sector 4, District 4, Sector
Yeah.
4
Yeah.
issue there.
Okay,
It's way more in other districts, ma'am.
okay.
Yeah, way more
Wow.
compared to, so this is.
We luckily, we beat olauloa, huh? Okay. Thank you very much for
It's
your
a
work.
great community out.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Any other board members have questions? Any questions from the community? Linda?
Hi, my name is Linda. Thank you so much. We had our community association meeting the other evening, and there was an in-depth discussion about the number of fireworks on New Year's Eve. There was concern that the community members, especially those living along Kamehameha Highway close to the shopping center, did not see any police patrolling or drones, and they were asking if you have any statistics. Were there any, not arrests, but ticketing, citations, thank you, citations for people shooting off fireworks unauthorized?
We'll have that for the next meeting for
The
sure,
next
ma'am.
one,
Yeah,
okay.
but there was a lot of enforcement, island wide. But then we'll have the numbers of actual enforcement. There was knock and burns too. I don't know if you guys are familiar with a knock and burn? Like officers going knocking on doors and just to prevent it, to even prevent the popping of the fireworks. With officers going around knocking on doors and stuff. So there was a lot of enforcement. But we'll get you the actual numbers. You want to know how much arrests or citations?
Yeah, they were asking if there were any citations or were there drones going? They were just curious what the enforcement effort was like out here.
I don't know if there are drones out in this specific area. I don't think there were drones in this coastline, but there were more inland.
Okay, thank you very much.
But we'll get the numbers for you next meeting
Okay,
for the actual
thank you.
fireworks.
Catherine? Oh, okay. Any other questions from the community? Catherine, online.
Just listening to the officer speak, you live next door to me, Mike. I'm not hearing anyone discuss what I would call the bombs that were, actively thrown in the stream. They knock things off my walls, okay, with their vibrations in our area. I haven't heard the mayor mention them. They're illegally made, and they were worse this year. There were fewer aerials, but there were more of those. And I'm not hearing those spoken of, and I'm not sure why. I mean, I've lived here for almost 30 years on this back road, and I've heard a lot of the fireworks. And I'm kind of tired of those ones. Thank you.
Yeah, it was pretty dramatic, and in Hauula, there's amazing fireworks displays. Our deck is sort of up watching this, and one of the fireworks, there was a huge aerial that went up, and then came down and showered our house and our deck with embers, burning embers, and so I went in the house to get a fire extinguisher. Fortunately, it started raining shortly thereafter, but it was really pretty alarming. Yeah.
So there was a question, if we have any reports on that?
The bombs, the bomb ones that go boom, 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 boom. and your whole, I mean, there's no visual. It is pure.
Well, it's not even
audio.
a firework. It's more like a bomb.
It's not a,
just for
it's
the
a bomb.
sound.
I mean, it's a homemade bombs. They drop them in the stream bed, Makua stream bed, and it's been going on. And they just put in a brand new bridge. But you know what? They're going to blow up that they're going to blow up that bridge that took them so long to build. Okay. And I haven't heard any media report of those ones. And I know they exist throughout the islands. They certainly happen in Palolo too. So, I'm concerned. And why have we not, well, you know, we talk about the other ones. We don't talk about the ones that are being constructed.
Is that
And we done for,
is that only? Sorry to
here.
interrupt. Was that only for New Year's, or is that a common thing still going on?
We've had some just yesterday, sir. I mean, they happen all the time, but they're particularly bad on New Year's Eve.
Okay.
We had a lot when UH won the game. We had a whole bunch of things go off. Okay, you could laugh, but I'm being honest here, sir.
Mhm.
So when we hear reports, I would like to have some of what I, you know, the reality. And I know you can't really knock on doors back here on the hills.
We
It's
actually
not
could,
quite
ma'am.
this.
If
You
we
could?
know, if we can narrow it down the area. So that's what these meetings are for. Yeah, if we can come up
Okay,
with
just-
specific areas, addresses. It can be confidential.
Yes.
Yeah, we got to know somewhere to start.
like Mike, I like the visuals, but well, when the embers start falling into my trees and on my house like his, I don't like it. It's you know what, and there's only one, you know, there's not enough firemen for that. But thank you.
Thank you, Catherine.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, appreciate it. Any other questions for our police department? Carol?
I wanted to know, is it difficult to identify where those bombs are being?
Very, very difficult.
Because you can probably identify fireworks and you can
Even the
probably.
fireworks is hard because where it explodes you can't tell from the trajectory where it came from. And
Yeah.
then now we have drones, but there's a limited amount of drones.
I saw a lot of drones where I live.
It might not have been our drones though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay.
So the best thing is to call and try, and you don't need to identify yourself, but at least meet with us, be anonymous, and let us know what area where we can at least start.
Okay, because
And then
we want to be able to communicate to our residents on
Mhm.
how to help the situation. So I think the gal online was mentioning the large bombs.
Mhm.
It-
And the
I-
hard part
I don't
about
even
that-
know what those look like. I don't even know where to start. I don't even
So
know.
first thing we need is identification is where, right? And then the second part is who's identifying them. If we don't see it personally, it's hard for us to even detain someone. But if we, and I get the problem that the public doesn't really want to say that's him, right? And write a statement, because that's what would be needed for prosecution or an arrest. We need someone to say, I saw him or her like that, whatever, if there was an explosion, and then we will have enforcement.
Or even like the address where you think it came from.
Yeah,
Those
Can they
large
control it?
bombs, are they outside somewhere in an open area, you think that would be visible?
for sure. Well, the bombs, what she was saying,
Mm-hmm.
it won't be visible. It's
Okay,
just like loud explosions, right?
okay.
But the other ones is
The
yeah,
aerials,
very-
yeah. Okay.
It's very, very dangerous. Yeah.
Okay, we have a question from, is this related to the fireworks?
Thank
Okay,
you.
Okay,
Just if someone wanted to report on that, is it best to call 911 or the non-emergency line? What's best?
Always 911.
911? Okay. Perfect.
thank you for that. Atalina has a question. You want to go online, Atalina, and ask it directly? One of our board members. She says, my question for officers is, are we monitoring minors purchasing alcoholic beverages at our liquor stores in Hauula and Kahuku, as well as standing outside and asking adults to purchase for them? What can be done?
Again, that we got to know what liquor stores are having that activity. Report it to us, and then that way we can send officers to do operations.
Okay, did you get that, Atalina? Okay, any other questions for our HPD? Thank you both for coming. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Any report from the United States Army? Okay, so let's go on to our government reports. We're going to try for a second time that panel approach. And then we'll have a little discussion maybe a little bit later as to whether that's what we want to continue. But what we're going to do is we're going to ask our government reps to all do their reports, and then please, we'll open it up to the floor for people to ask questions, and you can direct them to who you think it needs to respond to it. So let us start with, is Kat online?
I'm here.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody. I will start with actually 6 updates, and then we can go into questions since I don't have any follow-up issues from last time. Okay, first update. This month's highlights from Mayor's newsletter include 1, Kurt Locker was sworn in as the Chief of Ocean Safety. 2, there are new flood risk maps that take effect on June 10. 3, the restroom near Kapiolani Community College was vandalized. 4, construction begins at Waianae Police Station. And 5, transit-oriented housing coming to Kapolei and Kalihi. The January 2026 edition of the Mayor's newsletter can be found online, and I will drop a link in the chat. The second big update, the city launches a new and improved HNL 311 system. So on Monday, December 1st, the city launched a new and improved HNL 311 system, which residents can use to report issues in their communities that need to be fixed or addressed by the city. Residents can submit requests for service via the mobile app, which is available on Apple or Android devices, or by visiting the website at hnl311.com. The new HNL 311 system is more intuitive and easier to navigate, which means it has never been easier for residents to submit requests for service to the city. On the city's end, the new system makes it easier for our departments to track and respond to the issues that have been reported. So once an issue has been reported, it goes directly to the department that's responsible for that type of request. And if users are registered for an account, they'll get notified whenever there's a status update to their request. The city can only fix the issues and solve the problems that we know about. So instead of taking a video of a broken sink and posting it to Instagram, snap a couple photos and let us know by submitting an HNL 311 request. Those were my updates. I'm happy to take any questions. Oh no, we're doing questions at the end, aren't we?
That's right.
So
Thanks,
stand
Kat.
by.
Appreciate it. Okay, so let's go on to Councilman Matt Wire. Chelsea, are you online? Anybody?
Everybody,
Oh, hi,
let me
Chelsea.
make sure video's on. Oh, hi, thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and just highlight a couple of things here. Our January version of the newsletter, if you are signed up for emails and newsletters from our office, has gone out. Posted that on Instagram as well. One of the things that I'll highlight is also what we have blasted to our email listserv, and that is the Kamana Nui Gondola project. I know that there's some folks who are kind of following the issue closely in this group, and so wanted to just let you know that public hearing details were included in the email. So that's happening on Monday, January 12th at 10 a.m. There is an online option, and it can be found at honolulu.gov/DPP/public-input. And I'll go ahead and put this link into the chat as well. So just wanted to highlight that. One of the pieces of legislation that our office also just wanted to highlight is that Councilmember Wire had introduced Resolution 25-228 CD1, which would add agritourism to the list of activities that would trigger public notice and allow for public hearings for minor conditional use permits. And so this basically just helps add the neighborhood board to the conversation for applications like minor CUPs. So just wanted to highlight that the legislation isn't moving right now. So what we had asked for folks is to contact zoning committee chair. So that's actually Councilmember Esther Kiana to urge her to schedule this resolution for a hearing. And so if you want more information on that, you could just put your email into the chat and then I could add you folks to the newsletter. Thank you.
Thank you, Chelsea. Going on to Jill Takuta's office, David Kim.
Oh, yes. Are you guys able to hear me by any chance?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I have a couple of updates from the office of Congressman Joe Takuta. The first one being is that today she voted in favor of legislation to extend the Affordable Care Act's enhanced premium tax credits for 3 years, which would prevent massive insurance premium hikes that would make healthcare unaffordable for millions of Americans. The measure passed the House by votes of 230 to 196. The second update is that she introduced the Restoring Trust in Public Safety Act to equip police departments with the resources they need to fully and safely destroy seized or surrendered firearms and prevent untraceable weapons from re-entering our communities. And the last update that I want to be able to put in is that she led a bipartisan letter urging the Secretary of the Interior to ensure adequate staffing levels at the National Park Service and suspend plans for additional staffing cuts. That is all the updates I have so far.
Thank you, David. And then going on to Erica. Thank you, Eric. From our
From the Office of the Governor. So I actually going to defer most of the questions that were around transportation to DOT because Mel is here. So I'll give most of my time to her. But the other question that I had was regarding wind turbines and their safety in light of the recent blade throw incident that happened, I believe, in Massachusetts. And so I had to do a bit of back and forth to see who in the state right now would be the best person to consult with us on this issue. And I did connect with the state energy office, and I'm meeting with them in a few weeks. And I've also invited them to speak to the board and community directly about safety issues and any other relevant updates they might have at an upcoming meeting. And I can coordinate with Chair on that. And then Mel, are you on to give
Yes,
your?
I'm on.
Okay.
Okay, so like for the question for Department of Transportation, in the last meeting, there is a speed hump request at like by 7-Eleven near Kukunas Road in Hauula. So I'm gonna share a link in the chat box so community can go in there and submit a request of speed hump over there. And then the second question is request for walkway in Kahuku to medical center. So that is an ongoing design project to provide a shared use path from the existing Mala e Kahana path to Pu'alalea Street in Kahuku. This project is anticipated to be able to advertise later this year. So it will have a shared use path. Another question was regarding to the WorkWise Hawaii reflective items. So the WorkWise Hawaii provides reflective items only in conjunction with their presentations. So please let me know if you would like to request a presentation from WorkWise Hawaii, and we can help to coordinate. Another question is regarding for the blessing for a new bridge. We are currently working with the field office and our public affairs office for this request. Yep. That's my update.
Thank you, Mel. Appreciate it.
Mhm.
Erica, is anything else?
I did have two other questions. I don't know if Mel saw my notes on this too, but I think there was a question about community feedback after completion of a transportation project. And I think Mel said that there is not currently a department-wide policy or procedure on this, but that the department will take this in consideration into the future and is looking at a possible public involvement policy. And then there was also a rumble strip removal question, I believe, from Casey. I don't know if Casey's here today, but oh no, I did hear her speak earlier, I think. So we are wondering though if Casey can just clarify, or anyone else can clarify exactly which location these rumble strips are that you want to be removed.
I'm sorry. Oh, Catherine. Did you
Yeah,
have a
that was
response to
my
that?
request. That was my, let's say, my creative name for the 9 or 10, literally, they go across the road. As soon as they put in the new tarmac, what was it, almost 20 years ago now, they proceeded to then come through and dig, right across them in 9 places, and they've been constantly refilled to put in water pipes and also to connect some fire hydrants. So, and now are a rumble strip on both sides of the bridge. Okay. And that has not been fixed. The bridge has been done. Those were made worse by all the construction. Can't we have a smooth bit of road there? I mean, there's like 9 or 10 on both sides. Okay. And that
Okay.
was my thanks.
Mel, did you get that?
Which part? I'm so sorry. Is it in like Kahuna area?
Ha'ula.
Yeah.
Haula.
Haula.
Okay, Haula. Okay. Haula area. The rumble strip on both sides. You want to make it smooth.
Is this on the new bridge, Catherine?
Yes, Mike, when you drive to the new
Yeah.
bridge, you will notice that there are,
Okay.
lines across the bridge where they put in piping years ago, almost as soon
Yeah.
as they did that. And they've gotten worse and worse and worse. And if you count them, there's 9, I think, about on each side.
Yep.
And
So Mel, they're not literal rumble strips.
it's my creative name.
Yeah, it's damage to the road done by dealing with water systems and digging up for piping and so on. So that's what she's talking about.
Okay.
And I have
Alright,
brought it
thank
up
you.
at multiple meetings over the last 10 years. I know
And
I
they're
have.
right,
Thank
right
you for
still
after
there.
the school.
It's
Right before
No,
Asian Pacific.
they're right in front of the school that's up on the hill.
Asia,
Asian
right
Pacific.
before Asia
The
Pacific.
Asian Pacific
School.
one. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank
Anything
you.
else? Okay. Thank you, Erica. Thank you, Mel. And anyone from Senator Brenton Awa's office?
Yes.
Mark,
Yep.
the floor is yours. Thank
All
you
right.
for coming.
How's it, you guys? My name is Mark Taliai, and I serve as Senator Awa's legislative aide. I'm honored to provide this month's legislative report on behalf of Senator Awa. Just a quick report tonight. The 2026 legislative session will officially convene on January 21st, marking opening day at the state capitol. Please note that January 28th is the final day for bill introductions for this session, which is a critical milestone in the legislative process. I would also like to highlight an important reminder for our community. The legislature is currently accepting grants in aid, GIA applications. The deadline to submit GIA applications is Friday, January 23rd. We strongly encourage eligible organizations to apply and ensure all required materials are submitted by the deadline. Senator Awa and our office remain committed to supporting our communities and assisting organizations through the legislative process. Should you have any questions or need further assistance, please do not hesitate to reach out. If there are any questions for Senator Awa, I'll be happy to take them back to him.
Thank you, Mark. And then last, someone from Sean Quinlan's office. Is that Lucy?
Yes.
Welcome.
Aloha, everyone. I work for the Representative Quinlan's office. I am his legislative aide for this 2026 legislative session and will be attending meetings on behalf of Representative Quinlan if his schedule will not allow. The representative would like to apologize for not being here tonight, but he did ask me to go over just a few things with you guys. Our office is aware of the concern regarding Kamehameha Highway near the bridge by Okai Beach for the last couple of months. We formally contacted Hawaii Department of Transportation to make them aware of these concerns and request evaluation and repairs. At this time, our office is yet to receive a response, but Representative Quinlan is currently in the process of scheduling a meeting with Deputy Director Shishido to discuss this issue. Our representative is extremely proud to have helped connect Nurture Collective Incorporated, a local community nonprofit, with Spectrum. Through this connection, Spectrum was able to make a substantial donation to support this program and a community event in Kualoa, Laʻohana, held in October. Strong partnerships like these allow us to bring resources to our community, and we hope to continue having more. And after speaking with medical professionals, community stakeholders, and conducting a bit of research himself, Quinlan was alarmed to learn about the continued use of telone, which is a harmful pesticide. Research has shown that telone poses a serious risk to communities. Therefore, Representative Quinlan plans to introduce a measure this upcoming session to ban the use of telone in Hawaii. The goal is to protect public health, reduce harmful chemical exposure, and support safer agricultural practices. And if there are any further questions, my office is always here to assist you guys in anything you need.
Thank you, Lucy. Appreciate that. Thank you, everyone who spoke. Let's open it up first to the board members. Any questions from board members? Opening it up to the community. Any question? Oh, from Sunny. Go ahead, please. Sunny, online. You have your hand up. Sunny, your mute is on. Try pressing the space bar. Okay, Sunny, if you can put your question in the chat if your audio isn't working or your microphone isn't working. I'm sorry? Oh, sorry. Okay. Atalina says, can we have a follow-up in the Hawaii Relief Program? That was that was being implemented through Catholic Charities Hawaii. We have a number of community members who've applied for rental, utility, and mortgage assistance last year during the government shutdown and haven't gone beyond the initial application phase. We have one family that is about to be evicted, still waiting for assistance. Please help our community members by giving us an update or more information. And that's directed at, is that a state or city program? State? Erica? Can you respond? Okay, so Erica will come back next month with a response, but it sounds like it's a little urgent. So maybe if you get an earlier response, you could send it to me and I can forward it to Atalina. Yeah, thank you.
Michael,
Sunny? There you go.
Audio was giving me problems, but I just wanted to maybe ask if this is Sunny from Kahuku. You know, the turbine issue has been a huge safety concern for our community. And we have lots of concerns for very good reasons. And that was the reason why we pushed to increase the setback. And so we want to also make sure that any developers do not request for a variance request so that existing projects can be don't have to adhere to the 1.2. We do have a lot of information that we would like to share, specifically why, because we don't have an emergency case. And if there's a blade throw that happens, we have homes and schools within the vicinity, very, very close. That would be a huge safety concern. And AES also had a variance request that placed these turbines even closer than the existing or the previous setback, which was 1-to-1, and they're at like 284 feet, 275 feet from the residential property lines. So we have a lot of concerns and we have a lot of information that we want to share. I think it was with Jill Tokuta's office, right? So if you can reach out to me so we can give you and provide some information and some statistics regarding our concern, I hope that that can help with the research and figure out a solution for some emergency plans for our community.
Sunny, are you asking for any specific response from our government representatives right now, or is this more for information and follow up later?
I think, was it Jill's office that was saying that they were, researching about the safety concern with blade throw and things like that?
Yeah, they've already left the.
Oh, she already left?
He already. Oh, Jill, that was you. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, Sunny. That was me. Yeah, that's why I thought it would probably be easier if we had someone maybe come, because it seems like there's quite a few concerns and we haven't really talked about it in depth in a while. So would that be helpful? But that would be the
could you
state
come
energy
over?
office.
Oh, well, we've had many of conversations with the state energy office, but I think it would be important
Yeah.
for maybe you, because I've done a lot of community Kahuku turbine tours. So maybe we could have you and some staff members from the office come and really kind of see for yourself and hear from, our residences, not just with the impact with the with the proximity, but also the other impacts, with the sound, with the shadow flicker and things like that.
Right.
I think that's the best way to kind of really get a sense of our concern. So yeah, could we schedule a time for you folks to come to Kahuku and have that tour?
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that. I think some of the things you're bringing up though too are also pertinent to the city. If you're talking about permitting and things, so I don't know if we also want them to come.
Yeah,
I
we've
agree.
already had tours with Matt Wire's office, so he's aware, and we've also let him know that, we would not want the first wind developers to ask for, because their lease is up, and we don't want them to
Right, right.
say, hey, we want to be grandfathered in, or have an exemption kind of a thing. So I
Right.
think it'd be good to have your office come and also be in support of our community concern.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So I'll
I'd be
just
happy
drop
to.
my information, my contact information, and
Okay.
if you can just reach out and
Yeah.
schedule that, that would be great.
Thanks, Sunny.
Thanks, honey.
Thank
And then we have
you.
a follow-up question from Atalina. Can a Kahuku rep attend the blade throw meeting?
Of course.
Is that same money?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Okay. And then
Atalina,
Catherine,
I'll let you know when that meeting is, and then we can coordinate.
that's Sunny. Oh, that was Sunny's question?
Oh no, I'm just letting Lena know that when that
Yeah, yeah.
happens, I
Okay.
can let her
Sorry.
know, and we can coordinate a time so she can attend as well.
Okay. And then Catherine has a question. What purpose are the 12-foot fence enclosed areas on edge of New Bridge in Hauula to serve? Is Mel still here? Do you,
Is Mel still on? Yes.
well, this is one of the weaknesses of this format if people are leaving before the end. So let's keep that in mind if we want to continue it, right?
Very true. Okay, I'll take that.
Okay. You'll get back on that. Okay. All right, Ben?
Mr. Chair, besides the state, the permitting process goes to the county, right? The zoning committee is actually 100% responsible for what happened in Kahuku. And the mayor's office, city council is okay, but the mayor's office is the one that should be present to answer for what the administration did, not during this present administration, but during the past administration. I remember going to the meeting in Hauula, and he said that it was irresponsible what they did. And so the question now is, are they going to pick the ones that are closest to the community and the schools and move it way back? That's what they need to do now. And eventually I would like to make a motion to that effect that this neighborhood support that they move the closest ones that are in the front to way in the back, and that's going to be the starting line, way, way in the back. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Ben. Any other questions for our representatives? Or comments?
Actually, I have a question for Sean Quinlan's representative,
Sure.
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
She's still on there. Sorry, Chelsea.
Hi, I'm on, but I'm not Sean Quinlan's rep. I'm Matt Wires. Did you want something for the city or the
sorry.
state?
I was
My bad.
misguided.
Is that Lucy? My bad.
So-
I am still
a
on.
spacey.
Oh, hi, Lucy. Hi, I have a question.
Hi.
You made reference to a chemical that is going to be introduced in a bill that Sean's going to try to ban. Is that right?
Yes.
Can you remind me the name of that chemical and will you spell it out for me? And then I have another
It's-
question regarding other chemicals, or are you familiar with anything else Sean could be exploring regarding aerial pesticides or crop dusting?
No, currently we're focusing on Telone because he did talk to the Department of Health and other health officials to which was the most used on crops in Hawaii.
Okay.
but I can bring those concerns to him tomorrow
Yes.
into the office.
Thank you.
So we
I
can do
would be
further
interested.
research with our office.
Yes, that would be wonderful. I'd be interested to know what is currently happening in this area or anywhere near this area regarding pesticides, any kind of poison, crop dusting, or aerial sprays, especially, yeah. Anyways, thank you so much, Lucy. There's my
Oh,
question.
of course.
Okay.
And I can spell Telone for you. It's TELONE.
Oh, and okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, thank you,
It
Lucy.
also
And then
has another name, which, oh, I'm so sorry. It also
Go ahead.
has another name, which is 1,3-dichloropropane, in case you see that appear more online than Telone.
Okay.
Telone
Okay.
is just a public name.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
we have another question
I
from
will also drop
Adelina.
my, oh,
Go ahead, Lucy.
I will also put my email down in case you want to email me any concerns so my office can get back to you as soon as possible.
That's perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, we have another question from Adelina. Also, are there any first-time home buyer assistance programs for our community members to be able to compete in purchasing? Oh, and Kat just put a response in there, Adelina, with a link. Okay. Do we have any other questions for our panel? I guess my question is, should we continue with this format? I think one of the only ways it could work is if our government representatives stay on for the entire duration. Is that too much to ask, or what do you folks think?
I
No?
don't think so.
Okay. Do we stick?
Stick with it.
It's a little faster. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to remind and ask our government representatives to please stay on for the duration and for all the questions.
And I'll remind Mel that.
Okay,
She might
appreciate it.
realize that was the format again.
Yeah, no, that's okay. No problem. So we'll try it. We'll try it again and see if we can get this to work right. Okay.
Maybe we need to keep reminding people at the beginning of the meeting what the new format is.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Thank you very much. We're done with our government representatives and our panel. So let's move on to our presentations. With Dottie's permission, I'd like to switch the order and let our Hauula footpath group talk, because we have a number of young people here, and they can stay later if they want to, but maybe we'll let them go first. Does that sound okay? All right. So this is a proposal for a Hauula footpath by Windward Community College and Brigham Young University. We have Toa Sai Lucy, and a whole bunch of really great looking kids, young people.
Hello, everyone. Happy New Year's. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you all very much. We are here today to propose our footpath. It is the Green Walkways for Hauula. As you know, we do not have a footpath. And as you know, there's a lot of people who walk around and it's not always so safe. So we hope that we can make a difference. My name is Aziza Purser, and we're all students at APIS here in Hauula. Both me and Katya live on campus, so we're very much affected by this, and we are under TOA's UH class for entrepreneurship, which is where we originally made this proposal.
Aloha, a lot of you guys know me already. Luca Kinaberti, HYTC. Yeah, I mean, I took a look at this. It's an amazing prospect, getting the community walking and about on the footpath around. I also actually brought this up with DTS today. I was meeting with them for some other things for the North Shore Neighborhood Board. They thought about it a little bit. They're pretty in support of this as well. So just keep that in mind.
Okay, and my name is Toa Sai Lucy, and I'm the instructor for these beautiful young people right here. So in the beginning of this class, we set our goal that we're going to write our business plan, and hopefully we can deliver to the right people. And I believe tonight, it's a good opportunity for these young, adults to share their future with you. So turn the time to them and they can present their ideas.
Hi, I'm Katya Learned. Nice to meet you. All right, so just an overview on our proposal. As we already mentioned, Hau'ula currently has no sidewalks that are complete, and the most we have are like some dirt paths. It's just really unsafe. It's unpleasant. There's 2 schools within Hau'ula that have kids going home, going to their parents, picking them up, and a super dangerous highway. So it's a super big problem. And our walkway aims to fix this problem by medicating pedestrian fatalities and injuries on the highway. And our current plan would have Hawaiian plants as a buffer, creating even more protection along certain parts where there is room. And then having a walkable alternative in Hau'ula for the community members.
So the main makeup of the path, it's gonna be about 3.5, 3.6 miles. It's gonna go from He'aha Road to Kokolilio Beach Park. We're gonna try and have 6-foot width in some portions. If we hadn't have enough room in the median, we're gonna do an additional 2-foot buffer. That's gonna be kind of a hard planter box that'll have some native Hawaiian plants in it that we can specify in a second. We're gonna have 8 benches. That's not counting, seating that might be there already for bus stops. This will also be positioned mainly on the Mauka side. Next slide, please. Oh yeah.
Just to add on real quick, it'd be 4 feet with 6 feet total with the buffer, 4 feet for most of the pathway. And then here we can see just a map, a visual of where our project currently aims to go. And it spans for most of Hau'ula, which again currently lacks any sidewalk. All right, so our plan would be a footpath that stretches this length. That total would be 72,000 square feet around. And we would have these plants as a buffer. They're all native Oahu plants. And it's just some suggestions for the plants. It's not for sure. And then we would have pervious concrete, as that's a really good concrete for the place it's in, because it's on the coast and there's a lot of rainfall here and it drains really well. Thank you.
The list of amenities are, we have over 17 businesses, we have 2 schools in Hau'ula, over 32 bus stops, and we have many beach parks. And I believe that these places and people could potentially invest in our footpath for the community. Some services are Kaya's Kitchen, which I go to pretty often, the Church of Jesus Saint Latter-day. There's also the Pat's Vacation Home, which I think could potentially boost some of the business in Hau'ula. Here we have a data set. On our left, we have means of transportation that I found on Townsfolio in Hau'ula. As we can see here, we have pretty high numbers for carpooling, driving, and or bus, many vehicles. However, all the way to the right, you have a very low number of about 19 pedestrians just walking across Hau'ula in the general vicinity. And I believe that with the data supported in the right, we could potentially raise these numbers from about 19 to almost everyone in the community ever so often. We have a lot of people have said that they don't feel safe while walking along the sideway of the highway, as there's always fast moving cars. Sometimes they're reckless, and there's only that one road that connects Hau'ula to literally anywhere. And so it's very dangerous at sometimes, but it's also very necessary. And so I believe that having that sidewalk on the side will help all of us. We also can see here that a lot of people do find, about 80% or 60% find that the noise pollution and the car exhaust pollution affect our daily lives and are just
our experience living in Hau'ula or just being in Hau'ula. And at the very bottom here, we see that people aren't always very safe and they don't feel comfortable just walking around. There's a story that someone told me about walking around the sidewalk with their child. And many times they always said that they said to me that they would always have to grab their child away from the road because they feel so anxious and nervous about how close the sidewalk is to the road, especially with no barriers.
I'm sorry. I should have. So we usually have just 5 minutes for presentations. I'm going to give you a little bit more time, but
All right. I'll try to say this a little faster then. But here's some specific data that we found on the government website for 2024. And everyone knows that Kamehameha is super dangerous and has a history of collisions that are deadly. And so here we have in 2024, 102 traffic-related fatalities. Pedestrians are involved in 30% or 36% of fatal collisions. And there was a 13% increase in collisions with pedestrians from 2023 to 2024. So while only 6% of commuters are pedestrians, they are involved in 15% of injury-inducing crashes. This is to say that I think that this data shows even though pedestrians might think it's safer to be walking, cars have protection, and this data shows that's possibly more dangerous to be a pedestrian, especially without a sidewalk, which we're trying to add that form of protection to the pedestrians that they do not have right now, especially for this highway.
I want to apologize to the board. I didn't remind TOA about the length of time, so we're just going to let them go because you guys worked hard on this. Yeah, thank you. That was my bad, so I'll take responsibility for that.
We can wrap. Want to go to the next one? One after this. Oh, one more.
Well, we don't want you to go too fast. Let's do your presentation.
Are we doing the go just budget? Okay. So the current budget that we're estimating would be around 9 million for this very long sidewalk, but this is again just an estimate. And here's the vague summary of how I calculated it.
So what we're asking today, I know we didn't formally put it in the agenda, but if we could have a resolution, if you guys are supportive of it, this is all just proposed at the moment. We would want it in the future, probably hopefully near future, actually put this through into be, a physical space that you guys can all use as a community. So just asking for a resolution of community support. In that case, we would bring it to DTS, DPP, DPR, whatever would be a relevant agency, probably DPR. But yeah, I mean, as I said, I was today at the 2026 Hawaii Youth Hawaii Transportation Forum, and I was able to meet with Director Morton, and I also talked with one of the ranking members of the Hawaii Bicycling League, and they were both very supportive of this. I have a feeling, yeah, I was just asking for your guys' support.
We're also open to any feedback or problems that you see, and we'll definitely adjust our plans and take in your feedback. So you can contact any of us, contact our professor for anything that you see that you might not agree with for this current plan, because it's very much a rough draft. This is our first time presenting it to any sort of public other than Luca, which is today. So yeah, thank you so much.
You guys did great. Really, really well. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to do follow-up questions. So if you can just stay up here and respond. So let's start with the board members here. Allegra, go ahead.
In the morning, I step outside.
I just thought of this. We had last year talked with Arete. They're doing some building at Turtle Bay. And I know that they need to spend money on our community. So I don't know if that's something you've thought of, but maybe making a proposal to them of a place to find finances could be helpful.
I think the student did some comparison between the project that the government is doing in, the Laie food path. And also there's another one that they're trying to build up on North Shore. So the numbers maybe reflect the, inflation rate, interest rates, but that is the best, estimated budget that they came up with.
Awesome. Any other comments, questions?
I just have one suggestion. Like, I would think if you go a little farther from Cocololio to that PCC bike path, then you could, all the students who don't have cars can get to the shopping center. So I think if that could be expanded to the PCC walkway, it'd be even more useful. So essentially, you could go from Kohuku High School all the way to the end of your path, because you could go through Laie and on. And having ridden my bike and stuff to Haula, it's very dangerous. I agree with everybody. But I would just suggest, if it's suggested to go to Cocololio, just a little more to get to that bike, that walkway in front of PCC. And then you have access to people and businesses in Laie to present to also. That's my only suggestion.
And you may find you get some support from BYU on this project if you connect to BYU. Go ahead, Carol.
I just wanted to make a couple comments. The first thing was the LCA was instrumental in building the bike path, right? I don't know, have you considered collaborating with those groups who started, Laie Community Association. They built the bike path in partnership with other people. And then also in Sunset, there's an organization, what do they call it? I can't remember. They did the erosion project along the coast. So they were able to partner up with a number of different nurseries that provided them with a lot of plants. So there could be an opportunity to reduce your budget as you strengthen your partnerships or spend time to look around for partnerships. And then I had another question, but I can't remember right now, but I'll hand it
over to Dottie or Ben.
Aloha, Ben Schaefer. Do you know what the cost was for the Laie pathway? There was a lot of donation. I know there was a lot of labor-intensive donations from the community, right? But what was the cost that they had to spend? Because most of the times, the community will come out anyway, right? And our communities are full of construction workers and who know how to build things and know how to work on things. So we would probably have that same scenario up and down the coast, and we probably want to continue it up and down too. Thank you.
Thank you. Carol, and then let's go to Sunny. She's had her hand up online here. Sunny?
Hi, so I've been working with DOT to do the Kuhuku shared use path that connects from the end of Malay Kahana all the way past the high school to Pualalea Street. And I'm wondering if this is something that DOT can come in and help support, because in addition to the many speed humps, one of the things that we were discussing prior is having these walkable pathways can add to the safety to the residents and the community members. So I don't know if the DOT member is still here. Is this something that you guys can partner up with DOT to see if there's any funding available to make this project work? Because that's what we're doing right now. We're working with DOT to get this shared use path, and we have different entities that we're working with, as far as the design and stuff like that, to make sure it's aligns with the needs of the community. So just wanted to see if that might be a possible option for consideration for you guys.
Thank you, Sunny. We have Erica here. I don't know if we can share the presentation with you.
I can share a little bit about DOT because
Okay, go ahead.
work with them.
He works with DOT. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So for DOT, I believe they could partner really well because Director Sniffen is already working on a lot of traffic calming measures, especially for the North Shore. And I think he would be really behind connecting it up because having and one thing I talked with Director Morton about was having just one long kind of, his dream was one long, very bike path for the whole of, Windward Side and North Shore. So I think HDOT would be very interested in helping out with this bike path. And what I heard about Turtle Bay, I don't know the exact cost or the LIA bike path. I don't know the exact cost for what they're doing. But one big part of this is we want to subsidize it with donations and with, Turtle Bay and these other larger stakeholders in your guys' community that kind of owe you guys in some ways. And we want them to be putting more of the burden into this project because they owe you.
Awesome. Thank you, Luca. Atalina, did you have your hand raised? I see it in the notes.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I just wanted to echo what Sunny had explained. So with the walk path, bike path that we are trying to connect from Malaikahana all the way to Kahuku High and to Kahuku Elementary School, there's an initiative with the DOE called Safer Routes to Schools. And you guys are talking about having a safe route for our Ha'ula keiki to get to Ha'ula Elementary. And I think this can also help with, like you said, our BYU students who live in Ha'ula to get safely to their classes and to work. This is super important, and it's an initiative that we've long been waiting for. Um, we also had Hale'ofa, a nonprofit. They had their Melekaliki Makapa'ina on December 23rd, where they gave out about 20 bicycles to our houseless and our low-income families who need transportation to school, to work. They can't afford cars, car insurance, gas. So our next solution was to provide them with bicycles. But this is a great thing that you folks are doing. I think the only thing that I'm worried about is are you folks having this path on the Mauka side, or which side of the Kamema Highway are you guys putting this path?
So primarily, sorry. We're gonna have it go on Malka side. There might be, and I know we want it to be mostly Malka side because having it Makai, there's the possibility of erosion. So we want to mitigate that as much as possible. But there are a few areas because we're dealing with kind of a checkerboard in terms of state and city and county land. So there might be a few areas where we have to go to Makai. But in that case, we'll try and make the crossing as safe as possible. But just know in your mind, for the most part, we're going to keep it Malka.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
And then Carol, and then we'll
Um,
maybe we'll wrap this up.
The organization I wanted to share with you is North Shore Land Trust. And then the other comment I wanted to share was that even after the
Yeah, I'll
path is created, there's the home maintenance, keeping it, like trimmed and stuff like that. It's another thing to consider. And from my memory, when I was on the LCA board, I feel like, don't quote me, it was around 60,000 for the bike path in Laie. And that was mostly
60,000?
60 something, and it was mostly materials. The rest was all donated, and the community came out to put it together. So a lot of buy-in could happen when community comes. They will take care of the path. So that's something to consider when there's something for them to be a part of.
Thanks. Okay, we have a hand up, Catherine.
I had put a comment in the chat.
Sorry, I missed
I
that.
think,
but yeah.
I think the young people, I think it's a great idea to work towards a bike path, but I think you need to look at the language in the sustainable community plan. My recall is that there is some really not quite edge line prohibitive language where in order to keep the country feel, you want to avoid the sidewalks and the curbing and things. And my recall in the meetings is also as you get into Punalu'u and Ka'ava, there's some real heated feelings on those matters. Just to look at that language because that is a state document. And might reinforce some of your thoughts. And I think they were speaking about the mitigation in Sunset. They're talking about the outdoor circle. And if you haven't spoken to them, they're another good resource. Yeah.
Very good.
I can speak to that really quickly. So yeah, one of the big things I learned from today being at the transportation forum is I agree, keeping the country feel of where we live is very important, but we need to, we can work with any state office on this, but keeping the country feel while making your guys' community more livable and safe. That's why I think this bike path is a very good combination of those.
Right.
I agree. I just think you need to look at the documents.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna have one more and then let's just move on. Go ahead. Ben.
Ben Schaefer, when I was in the mainland in Merced County, they had bike paths all over the county. Nobody needed to drive because they had so many bike paths. And I'm telling you, it changes your way of life.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, that's a good closing comment. Thank you. You guys did really, really well, and it's a great project. So,
Chair, could we have a measure of support or?
do we? Sorry, do we have any motions?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor? Ben made the first motion. Who seconded it? There we go. And okay. And all in favor. So we just passed the motion. There you
Thank
go.
you guys so
we've got your
much.
Support of it.
We're gonna start.
And if
working
you
with-
want to bring a resolution to the board, it might be a good exercise for you guys to draft it, and we can maybe pass a resolution at a future meeting. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. Mahalo.
Thanks, Luca. Okay. Moving on to our own Dottie Kelly Paddock. Recommendations to the Green Fee Advisory Council from Howell Community Association.
I'll try very hard to stay within 5 minutes. Thank you very much. We are very concerned in Olauloa and Hauula about the following. And the first thing we're going to talk about, next slide, is wastewater. It's not very sexy, but let me tell you, it's a very important issue here. I did not realize until about a year ago, I read a Department of Health study that said Hauula was the worst polluted community in the state, second to one other. So from that point on, we were looking at what can we do about this? And we did have a study funded last year in 2025 where we were helped by a project called WAI, W-A-I, and that's their mission is to eliminate cesspools to help bring the water quality up in the area. And that's what we're facing in Hauula especially, but it's also Hauula, Punaluu, and Ka'aava. We do not have any kind of wastewater treatment like other communities across the county and the state. So this is something we just want to raise awareness about, but we also hope that we can work together to find resolutions. There's, of course, projects trying to replace cesspools, but they're looking at this now with a lot of research. And by the time we would change over all those cesspools to septics, that wouldn't be enough. We need to go to ATUs, which is a way of aerating the products that go into that tank, and it gets rid of all the bacteria and the bad things that would go into our environment. I'm not a scientist, so I'm not going to get technical here. The second thing is why? Why is this organization that helped us do the study with volunteers from all over our community, and we thank them very much for their work, and the Castle Foundation for funding that particular study. Next slide. Also, infrastructure. This is a big deal out here in Olauloa. I think everybody here agrees with me. One thing is our infrastructure is pretty lousy and it's not well maintained. I'm speaking the truth here, gang, because this is something we've really looked into. Can you make it bigger? And Mike, there you go. Thank you, Anson. One thing we looked at was resilience hubs first off, because 85% of the homes in our area are plantation style homes that are not reinforced to the level that they would survive. Some of them will not even survive a Category 1 hurricane. So we are in big trouble when that hurricane hits us. And so what we felt was the most reasonable option was to build a resilience hub for the people, at least protect the people from being killed or swept away in a hurricane or a tsunami. And so that's why we've been working so hard on this in Hau'ula. And we would hope that every community could have a resilience hub of some sort. And as we know, there are all kinds of models across the state. What is a resilience hub in one community is different from what a resilience hub would be in the other community. Some communities have great infrastructure that they can harden further and use those for a resilience hub. But as I told the FEMA folks, you're not going to find a good piece of infrastructure or building in the right place in Hau'ula or even nearby in order to harden it. So you have to have some pretty good infrastructure if you're going to put that money into hardening that infrastructure. Also, our roadway. One road in and one road out is the other piece of infrastructure that's lousy. And we need a plan. We don't just need DOT to come in here and tell us that we're going to be blown away by a hurricane and then they'll come in and clean it up with FEMA. That's not the answer. The answer is to get a plan together and involve the right people. It has to be Board of Water Supply, HECO, the community, and also Telcom. I found out from going to a Telcom meeting the other day that the new cable that's going to come across the Hawaiian Islands is going to be coming. This will help with our broadband, Wi-Fi, and all of that. But it's coming from Kauai. And then it's going to come down to the north shore of Oahu and then through Olauloa. They're supposed to put that underground, and they should build a new road in conjunction with that, but we need a plan. So quickly, let's go on to the next slide. We need a replacement of bridges. We don't want to spend 4 years on a bridge. We want bridges built quickly and well. And DOT should do something about that. In Massachusetts, they can build a bridge in the summer. Why can't we do that? You know, it doesn't have to be the summer, but let's get our bridges built well and quickly. And Cam Highway needs resurfacing all over the place out here. We have the worst roads on the whole island. Next slide. There you go. The last thing I'll say is the neighborhood board needs more teeth. They need more power. We live here. We know what we need in our communities. And when we're forced to keep building more and more hotels and more infrastructure that people use as vacation rentals, that doesn't help us. It puts more pressure on us, and we have fewer resources and funding to be able to really help people when the emergency happens. So we just get more people in this area. Every time they build a hotel, it's like putting in a new community. And we've got to look at that. And we need more power so we can assess these and sometimes turn down projects. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's have questions, and then is there something you'd like to propose us to do here? So let's start with questions. Allegra.
I know that there was an initiative for the septic system to change cesspools to.
There was a grant that the
there's a
state had.
grant, yes. And it didn't, I mean, I'm sure it did a lot for a lot of people, but it didn't really scratch the surface. Like there was a lot more needed. And sorry, the ATU, is that specifically to each individual house, or is that like a big
That's
structure?
it could be either way. You
Okay.
could have individual ATUs, or you could have a bigger system that would cover several homes together.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
There's all kinds of different technology out there right now that's got to make it happen, you know.
Yeah. Do we know if there is an option to bring back some sort of grant or anything like that for like the ATU or the or the septic tank?
I think the EPA is our really our best way of getting funding for that, and the city is required to help upgrade, you know, our sewer systems or wastewater systems. I mean, it's in every other community. You probably read the paper and you saw that Kailua just got a special new kind of ultraviolet light that helps get rid of the bacteria in their wastewater system. Costs what, 8, 9, 10 billion dollars. And this stuff is expensive. We had applied for, Julio Haula applied for an EPA grant right before the federal money all went away. And we had applied for $4 million. That would not have even touched half of the cesspools in Haula, but it would have been a start. And that's what we're hoping for, is to at least get somebody who will help us and help solve this problem. And I know SOES at the University of Hawaii is doing studies on this as well. And they're looking at different plans and opportunities, and the technology is getting better and better. So we just got to keep working on it together as a community. Yes.
We have more questions. Go ahead,
Yes,
Ben.
I think you brought up very great problems that we have, things that we need to do long term. A couple of years ago, we were doing a study on who had the best systems out there, and most of them don't come from America. They come from all these other countries who have had to deal with it with the little amount of money that they have, and they have done very successful. And I suggest we start looking elsewhere. American system does not work as we think it does. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Carol.
Dottie, I thank you for your presentation. I was just reminded about something that we discussed many years ago. I think you barely touched on the roads. You spoke about the bridges. I noticed that the technology for roads has not really increased or enhanced, but it seems as though the budget continues to increase. I would be curious to know if they are vetting other technologies. Maybe that's a question for you, for Department of Transportation, because in other states, I know personally, they have technology that actually keeps roads in place for at least 50 years. And they don't have to repair them, but they're in heavily used roads with a lot of rain. So anyways, I'm just saying this is something that we should explore. I would be interested to know what Department of Transportation has done regarding road construction and any other technologies, because everyone's paying for these roads, but literally everyone in the community can go out there and pour some gravel themselves, probably cheaper than the state
I
can.
think you're bringing up a great point, because how you resurface a road and treat it is going to make a huge difference if you put the money into it ahead of time. But you see, what I think happens here is we get the cheapest materials possible and just slap them down.
Then why does it increase in price? Why are we spending more if it's the same technology? So that's something I think we should get more information on.
I agree.
All right, that's all.
I agree.
Sure. We have a question from Atalina online.
Sorry, I just wanted to share. I support what Dottie has presented today. I also want to share something that I saw when we were helping with the Lahaina survivors. So Lahaina is a community, and right next door there's another community called Ka'anapali. Ka'anapali is full of resorts. It's lush, green. They have these sprinklers that shoot out so many gallons of water. And then you have Lahaina that's all dried up, and then on the news, they tell Lahaina residents that they can't use their water, they can't water their plants, and they can't wash their cars because there's some kind of drought. Well, when I came back after I helped do outreach in Lahaina, I came back and I looked at my community. I looked at Kahuku. And in Kahuku, for our upper community by the hospital, there's only one way in and one way out. And we have, it's green in Kahuku and it's so nice. Down the street, we have some developments that are happening. And I wonder to myself, where will these developments be drawing their water from? How will it affect our Kahuku community? Will Kahuku end up like Lahaina? Will we be dried out? Will they be drawing water from us? I love how Dottie talks about all of our resources. And when developments come, are we building up our infrastructure? Because there's going to be so many more people who are coming to our one ER. They're coming to we only have 2 grocery stores, we only have Foodland, and we have Tamura's, and now Tamura's has a new property owner, so we don't know what's going to happen there. But there's so many things that are happening that affect our food security. It's affecting our health care. But these developers, they'll throw some money at Kahuku Medical Center, they'll throw some money here, but are they going to be there in the long run? Are they really invested in our community, in our children? Are they going to put funding into Kahuku Elementary School to expand it because there will be more children, into Kahuku High and intermediate? So those are the things that I'm really worried about as a lifetime Kahuku community member. But I think what Dottie's bringing out is really important. And I think we really need to look at the bigger picture here. So mahalo, Dottie.
We need to, as she said, we need to stand up as a community. We're smart people. We can see the writing on the wall here. And we need to have more than just a nod here at the neighborhood board. We need to be able to make real decisions about our home and our future for our kids.
So Dottie, what would you suggest? What would you like us to do?
I would like for us to get a group together to go to the legislature for the opening of the legislature and let them know what we need, because this is such an important thing. We submitted this to the city, what was it called? The city commission.
Charter Commission?
Charter Commission. We submitted these same things to the city charter commission, and we want to be heard. And if we just write something, we're not going to be heard. You have to go stand up and talk to people about it and yell it out sometimes, because people won't listen. We're a small community and we'll just be knocked down.
So maybe we can do both.
Yes.
Maybe you're the chair of the Emergency Preparedness and Resilience Subcommittee.
Yes.
A lot of this has to do with transportation as well. Ben is head of, maybe the two of you can draft a resolution for us to consider. I'm going to propose actually that we have a mid-January gathering, a neighborhood board meeting to deal with the Charter Commission, the neighborhood plan, this, and then begin talking about some priorities for the year. So let's start with the resolution. And then are there individuals that want to join Dottie to go to the legislature and to make a regular practice of testifying?
Raise your hand.
And rabble rousing? So we've got, are you writing this up? So we've got Allegra, Margaret, Ben, Dottie.
Let's do it.
Carol.
And Natalia.
And Atalina, basically the whole board.
Mr. Chair, you know, the state is one, but we come under the city. So we should really be going to the mayor's office.
No, really.
Managing director's office.
Doing both.
Actually, and seeing them first. And then when they can help us, then we'll go see the city council people, because we want, the neighborhood boards needs to be empowered to do their job. Thank you.
And because the new legislative session is starting, we need to go there too. We have to knock on every door.
Can we have the two of you draft something within the next week or so? If as in the next discussion, I was going to propose that in the middle of the month, in about 2 weeks, we have another neighborhood board meeting.
Just the board.
Go ahead. We did it once before.
A special meeting?
Special meeting. So we're talking about a special meeting of the neighborhood board to address these issues of priorities and these various venues of influence, the charter commission, the neighborhood plan, the legislature, the city council, et cetera. So, okay.
Okay.
All right. Nothing else for Dottie? Dottie, that was great. Thank you so much. Yeah. And the last thing is kind of what we just talked about. And that's that I just wanted to ask the board, it's a new year. What's our process for considering what our priorities are? And we've identified some priorities for the Charter Commission. We passed them by motion last time. What I was going to suggest is that our various committees actually spend a little bit of time working together. If you do get together, we have to go through the whole public open meeting process. You can also ask your individual members to communicate what their thoughts would be, and then we can bring it back to a larger meeting. So there are different ways to do this, but I wanted to hear the board's thoughts about, how do we really begin identifying what our priorities are as a neighborhood board? Because there's a million things we could be doing. But any thoughts?
Mr. Chair, I've always believed that in order to get more things done, those committees need to do reports to the board before time, so that they can review it, understand where it's coming from, and then when we come to the meetings, we already have an idea of what we want.
So we're asking our committees to be active and to give some thought to priorities. What's going on in your particular community? What are you hearing and what we should be working on? Is the board in supportive of a special meeting in about 2 to 3 weeks? Yes. And go ahead, Allegra. I don't think we don't have to do a motion. We all sort of agree to it. Okay. So maybe that's what we'll start. I'm going to ask the committee chairs to start thinking about what the priorities are for your committee and work with your committee members. If you are going to have a face-to-face meeting, we have to go through the public disclosure process, right? But if you do have just email discussions, one-to-one, no more than two, more than two, right? So no more than 2 individuals can meet. So if you notice when I send communications out to you folks, I blind copy so that we're all not doing a round robin on email. That's kind of what you want to avoid. But I don't think there's any problem with asking your committee members kind of what their thoughts are individually, and then maybe bringing that back to, a summary of that back to the board. Does that sound fine? Go ahead, Dottie.
I believe the opening day of the legislature is the 21st.
So let's do it before the 21st.
Yeah.
And there's a charter commission. No, there's a neighborhood plan meeting on the 12th. Is that right? But they'll meet periodically. We have until April on that. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So I think we have a plan. We're going to do a special meeting before the 21st. We're going to ask our committee heads to start communicating with their individual members on an individual basis and start getting a feel for what the priorities are. And we'll try to articulate something. We'll bring that to the board as a document and have the public review so that folks can comment on it, and we'll proceed from there. Any questions or comments?
Michael, before we go into the committee reports, sorry, I wasn't sure when to bring this up, but I had gotten an anonymous, they want to stay anonymous. When do I do that?
So we're going to bring that up for public, and that's right after the committee reports, public input, community announcements. You're conveying what someone anonymously from the community told you. So we'll get
that's great.
Okay. Any other comments on what we just discussed? Okay. So let's move on to the committee reports. The first one is the Charter Commission Working Committee, which we chartered or appointed our last meeting. My suggestion is let's fold that into the agenda for our special meeting. And one of the things that I'd like to do is just spend a little bit of time going over what some of the charter proposals were, and maybe doing some priorities on that, and maybe out of that special meeting we can have a resolution. So I think there's a number of things that we'll be addressing before the 21st. So any other committee want to report?
I am the food security meeting.
Great.
The food security group committee. I just wanted to ask the board what they thought about doing. I know we don't have a big farmers
Thanks, guys.
market like at all on this side of the island. I know that we've kind of had one with the Hauula Community Association. And I have just been talking to some community members about doing one in Kahuku, and renting out some space there, or having, either working with the board to do it, or helping or supporting a community member to do it themselves. But I just thought, I feel like there's so many great farmers here, and having an initiative that helps those farmers sell their food at a centralized location where people can come to and buy local food, as well as maybe like local made products, craft things, whatever community members want to sell. And I would try to make it so it's not people coming from like Kapolei. It's more this side of the island community helping community members. Anyway, that was just something I've been working on a little bit, and I wanted to know if anybody had thoughts or suggestions.
Does anybody have any thoughts or suggestions about a nice, robust farmers market for our community?
I know they've been having a Kahuku
Hold on, Sunny.
farmers.
Sunny,
Oh,
hold on just a second. We got Dottie, and then you.
Hauula, we did during COVID. We started a farmers market, and we did it to get fresh produce out. We did it to network with farmers and people growing food, because in emergencies we were going to need that food, and so we wanted to create a network of people who were producing food and help them sell their food. But over time, we ran that farmers market for about 3 years, and we moved it from the front of this building over to the Resilience Hub, or the Resilience Park, we call it now. But and it was a lovely venue, and people came, but a lot of people don't buy fresh vegetables here. It's not part of the culture and the way people are eating. And I ran into that, and it just became a big deal. And then I learned that farmers don't have time to sit around at a farmer's market. They need to be out farming. That's what they told me. So I said, okay, Hui-O Hauula will buy your produce, and we'll sell it at the farmer's market for the same price you would sell it for. Whatever we buy it for, we'll try to sell it for that. We could not sell that produce, and I would end up bringing it back here on the Monday after and just giving it all away. And so it got to be a very expensive thing for us. We were trying to figure out how to do this, and if somebody else knows a better way, I don't know how to do it, and I'd love to do it. I'd love to be a part of that working group if you can figure out a way.
Perfect. I'm going to work on it a little more and get back to you, but I'd love to hear Sunny's thoughts.
Sunny?
So they've been having like a farmers market at the Kahuku Sugar Mill. I think like once a month, but maybe we can collaborate. I know certain areas in town, they utilize parks in different areas. So maybe we could use Kahuku District Park for a big farmers market. I don't know, just because there's a lot of farmers in Kahuku, right? So I just wanted to throw that idea out for options.
Yeah, I love that. I don't think they're doing it at the sugar mill anymore, but I do know it wasn't. I would try to, the food vendors and stuff like that are awesome, but I would try to focus on fresh produce and like local makers. But we do have a few locations. I have a few locations that I'm like been talking to people about. So, but the park's a great idea.
I would just like to mention one other thing. Because I am very, very interested in food, local food production and food security. I went a few weeks ago to something that was a statewide food summit. And it was the fourth one that they've had, and I had heard great things about it. And so I went. It's something, if you don't know much about it, I've got a lot of material about it. I'd love to talk to a small group about it sometime, but the state is really stepping up, and they're putting together these huge facilities on the west side to really help people who are producing food process it and sell it. And we do a very small piece of that right here. We have a little commercial kitchen, and it's for free. People come in, they fix their foods, they can go out and sell them then, and it's legal. They go through the Department of Health, and we're the certified kitchen that supports them. And in other places, they have to spend $300, $400, $500 a month just for a certified kitchen. And so at least we're helping in that regard. But this is not a fancy facility. Oh, you wouldn't believe what Senator Dela Cruz from the Ways and Means Committee, with all the money bags in the world, but they're putting millions of dollars into these facilities. And they're going to build 3, as I understand it. And one is standing right now in the middle of Wahiwa. Thank you. And so, and that's where the food summit was. So there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of support behind this, and there's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But we need to have a facility on this side, because you drive along Cam Highway, you see all those beautiful, beautiful farms, and more crops being produced all the time. So let's get to it.
So Allegra, I really appreciate you bringing this up, and because I can tell this is something you are kind of passionate about. Yeah. And this is one of the things that I actually would like to ask the individual board members. I think things happen because someone feels really passionate about it. I think Dottie's passion for the Resilience Hub and for the emergency preparedness was huge. Just to have one person really working with everyone and whipping up the interest and committed to it. So I actually would like, as part of our discussion at the next special meeting, to challenge each board member to think about, what is that thing that you feel passionate about? What is that thing that you really want to go to the mat for in terms of what you've heard this community needs and what the priorities of these communities are? And that's going to be one of the questions that I'm hoping we can get to when we meet in a week or two. And if you want to brainstorm and just talk individually with me or anybody on this committee and think it through, but that's what I'm hoping we can get to. So you've got someone who's got a lot of passion, who also can get and experience with this. So where are we at this point? Any other committees? Ben.
Well, I have something to add, sorry.
Okay. Oh, Atalina, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just want to make sure that we take into consideration our SNAP families and our WIC families, to make sure that when Dottie did the farmers market, they were able to use their SNAP cards, but maybe also extend that to our expectant mothers who have WIC cards where they could purchase fruits and vegetables with. I'm not sure how we can do that, but I know that we have Amy at Ha'ula Community Center with WIC. We could probably figure something out.
Thanks. Okay. And then we have Sunny.
I just wanted to let everybody know that on January 21st, it's a Wednesday, 6:30 to 8 o'clock at Kahuku Elementary Cafeteria. It's at the elementary school, not the high school. We're having our community pool meeting. So if you folks can come learn about the latest design at the district park, and also the environmental assessment presentation is going to be there. So please come. The G70 and Department of Parks and Rec will be there. So yes, we invite all to come.
Awesome. That's our Park and Recreation chair. I'm sorry, Dottie. What time did you say, Sunny?
6:30.
6:30?
6:30 to 8.
Okay. All right, great. Any other committees? Transportation.
Yes, I just wanted to, Ben Schaefer, I just wanted to bring up that the governor's office representative uh, actually brought up a lot of the things that I had already brought up, and we were just, going over the thing, and we need to, and I'm going to follow up on all the things that we talked about on the transportation side. Yeah, so, and then we had a break during holidays, and now we're back to work. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Ben. Any other committees? Okay, moving on. Public input, community announcements. You want to go, Allegris? You want to start?
I just had gotten a person that wants to stay anonymous, had some concerns about the, is it Corazon or La Corazon? Yeah, Family Transition Center. They're utilizing some government housing, apartments on Homestead Road. They had a few concerns. The biggest one was the parking. The residents who live there, park on Homestead Road. And it's right along a curve, right before a curve, and there's a lot of walkers in the morning and at night, especially in the morning, and it's just a really unsafe corner anyway, but definitely with those cars there. So this community member was really concerned about that. She did go and ask, and I guess no one's supposed to go on the property, so she was kind of escorted off the property because she was trying to ask them about it. And they said those cars are not allowed to go to park in there. The residents are not allowed to park in there unless everything is, like, their safety and registration is all up to date. And she said, well, some of the cars were up to date. And anyway, so she was kind of confused by that and wanted maybe the board to ask about it, or I'm not really sure. She also said maybe maybe there aren't dogs allowed in the facility, and I don't know. There is a dog living in a car, she thinks. One of the cars outside, but she did see a dog on the property, so she was confused by that. And then she said, but there's so many, I should have organized this better. There are some cars parked in the facility, and those seem to be maybe owned by the people who manage it, and they're really nice cars. And so she was wondering if there's like Teslas and stuff like that, and she's wondering if there's like any audit on this. I know we had talked to Corazon or heard from them, but I think maybe I wasn't present at one of those meetings, and so I didn't get to hear all of it. But
So I do have a suggestion. UILA is taking the lead on a little working group that includes Corazon and about 4 or 5 individuals, including the city. And so they have not met. My suggestion is can you write up this and get it to me? I'll send it to UILA. Actually, what I was going to do, I was going to invite the working group to my house for dinner and just get them talking to one another. And so,
sorry,
so
one more thing she said is that she spoke to one of the people living there, and they said that they're like suggesting houses on the west side for them. And so she's concerned that they're trying to relocate everybody to the west side. Anyway, last thing.
Okay.
But yeah, I would.
If you could do that, and then we'll share that with the group there. Anybody, is this related, or is this another comment? It's related. Okay.
I've heard similar information that if the car is not legally registered, they cannot park it in the parking lot of the facility. They have to park it on the road. And I've also heard that for some reason, the kids can't play out there in the parking area anymore. I mean, it's empty except for the staff's car. They have to play in the backyard. And there's not really, I don't know how the backyard is kept, but it always looked pretty rough to me. But you can see 7 or 8 cars always parked right along Homestead Road. Very neatly, but nobody's using the parking area. They have those great parking areas there. It's not used at all. And I don't understand. When I first heard about the Core Zone project, what I heard them say is we're going to help our families get ready to get jobs and get out there and help be self-reliant and resilient families. It seems like if they don't have a car that's even registered, it seems like that would be something they would help them do.
Kind of a first step, huh?
Yeah. So I don't understand this, and maybe that's something legal about it, but I don't know. It seems like it should be part of their program.
And what I'll also do is I'll look at the YouTube video of this meeting and find the timestamp for when this discussion started, and also send that out to the working group. So we'll have that discussion. Okay, Ben.
I want to just make an announcement that I also sit on Oahu Island Burial Council as vice chair. And we've been really fortunate in the last 6 months to a year now. We've been able to wrap up the issue with the Mokapu burial site, something like 3,000 plus, right? And we finally, have funding. We finally have everything, and they're moving forward on that project. The other project is Kauai Church, where they actually put in the first EV a couple weeks ago. And so they're finally putting back what they took out illegally. Mahalo.
Okay, thanks for that, Ben. Any other community announcement, public input, anything else? Anyone online, anyone in the group here? Okay. Go ahead. Can we get her a microphone? Oh, it's right there.
My name is Jenny. I live in Honolulu. I'm very concerned about this bridge where the dip in the road, it has become like a reverse speed bump. You're driving along and you literally go down. And now people are really slowing down because of that, which is probably going to eventually cause an accident, somebody getting rear-ended that is not aware of that bump.
Which
No.
bridge is it? The one right here? Okay. Yeah,
And
right
the
out here.
other thing, we have these huge trucks and buses coming through this highway. If that thing collapses, where is that vehicle going to end up?
Yeah.
The house that is right by that spot and our Hawaiian monk seal, Sadie. That's like her favorite part of the beach. And because they're federally protected animal, would the state be liable for killing one or injuring one? Those are just some thoughts I've had about this. And it is getting worse over the last couple of months. It has gotten worse and worse and worse. So I heard earlier, they said they were going to talk to somebody in the next month or two. I don't think we have a month or two. I mean, I think it's as dangerous as that emergency fix that they did at Kualoa. I think it needs to be looked into like yesterday.
Okay, thank you. Erica, is there any way you might convey some of that to Mel? No, this is completely different. So this is a bridge. Does anybody know the name of the stream of the bridge?
Okay, it's okay Beach.
What is it? I'm sorry?
emailed them the.
Can you talk into the microphone?
Samantha, I emailed Samantha the information, the address. She wanted photos, and so she should have it.
Would you forward
Well,
them
we're
that,
coordinating that. We're
could you
coordinating.
forward that email to Erica? Would that be possible?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you very much. It's very important. Okay, and then we have Andrea.
Yes, hi. I just wanted to say I'm on the Citizens Advisory Committee for Oahu Metropolitan Planning Organization. And today we had a meeting. And it was very interesting. The person was a Dr. Appleyard from San Diego University giving a presentation on reimagining our streets. Excuse me. 5 decades of livable streets, working at the conflict, power, and fitness of our streets. And I have his email, but I don't have it in the chat. I'm not, I don't do that. Anyway, so it had traffic calming measures by the types of things we were talking about actually built in. And the bike path thing that the kids presented was really one of them, to slow down the traffic, make it much more livable to walk, much safer, that type of thing. And I don't know if we would be interested in hearing what he has to say sometime, but I think the Transportation Committee should maybe be very interested in this book. And, the name of the book was Reimagining Our Streets, 5 Decades of Livable Streets.
You got that, Ben?
Yeah. Working at the
Go
I
ahead.
can I'll send it to Ben later.
Thank you, thank you. And Luca wanted to reply as one of the youth representatives on our Department of Transportation Youth
Yeah.
Committee, and then we'll have Ben comment.
Mahalo for your support. I actually was able to attend that Imagine This series, and I totally agree. Making the community more livable, walkable. And one of the things they really reiterated, because I was able to attend the transportation conference, is having these amenities other than driving in your car just makes everyone happier, and being happier makes us, live a lot longer. So I'm so excited you guys are interested in this. This actually makes me really happy as kind of a transit nerd. So yeah, and I also wanted to say, what I'm working with my friend. If you guys know, again, I always plead any youth that want to pursue this kind of project. I can talk with you guys after as well. That want to do this. I know people that can help them, help advocate for them, help them advocate. Because I have done so much, and I want other people to do, kind of do what I do, because it's so exciting.
I have a question for Anson. Can we have non-board members serve on subcommittees? We can. Can our transportation committee consider recruiting Luca as a member if he will consider it?
I will. I'm actually also on the North Shore Neighborhood Transportation Committee, so.
Okay, okay. So I don't know where you folks, the Transportation Committee, wants to go with this reimagining concept, but you've got some passion here. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Do we have any other? Yeah, one more thing. Well,
Sorry,
it's okay.
I
Don't
promise.
apologize. That's what we're here for.
I'm concerned about the Castles Beach parking lot. And there's a lot of cars parking across the street on the bike path, where the bike path is. So I kind of want to figure out a way we could nip that now before it turns into Alani's chaotic space like on the North Shore, where they're parking on the Mauka side, crossing the highway and going to the ocean. I've seen some interesting things there on the highway, all the speed bumps, plus the people running, plus the people walking on the bike path. Cars are trying to pull up and they realize there's no parking at the beach. Then they quickly find a spot there and they try to fit in between the bike path and the highway. So we need signs or something. So I'm just communicating it here. So I'm sure our committee, the Transportation Committee, will figure out whether it's signage or whatever. I don't know. Maybe the state has some idea.
So you're referring this to the Transportation Committee? Ben, your agenda is just growing and growing. Allegra, go ahead.
I'm just wondering if we know how long the private castles, there used to be the private castles campground that I think that's in their, addendum or something, that it's also a public parking for the beach. Like they have to make it public parking as well as, it's a cross through for their campsite. Because it's state land, but privately run. So I wonder if we can talk about when that will be finished. It's been almost 2 years. It was supposed to be only 1 year, so that could be something that explore, yeah. Yeah, and yeah, we want to be able to utilize that parking lot, and maybe they could finish the parking lot first and then go to the other stuff, whatever it is. But yeah.
Okay. Okay. Do we have any other public or community comments or announcements? Yes.
Hi, I'm Jenny. Just commenting on what you just did. I heard that there's going to be a new company that is going to be organizing like kayaking tours and stuff out of that beach area. So what kind of traffic is that going to contribute?
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
I know that they used to do that at Chinaman's Hat at Magli'i. And I know that they stopped that by having all the boats be registered. So I'm sure that could be something we figure out. I don't know if like beforehand we could figure it out, but I know afterward they'll I'm not sure which department that is, maybe wildlife, but they'll come and give tickets and stuff like that. So I think that could be something that is figured out quicker than
Well,
later.
Okay.
Yeah, what I wondered is about how many parking spaces is that kind of activity going to take away from people who just want to use the beach?
But anyone using the beach, whether they're kayaking or surfing or walking on the beach, they have equal
But if it's a,
bounds. Commercial, yeah. Okay.
it's a commercial business,
Yeah. Okay.
it's different.
All right.
So that's what made me think of that.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you. Anything else before we race towards our approving our minutes? One more thing. Okay. No. Go.
Is there any other committee you're going to be inviting to your house for dinner?
Oh, God. Maybe that'll be my aspiration, is to have
Make some
each
food.
committee at my house, within the course of the year. Go ahead, Allegra.
Do we know what I can bring? What kind of
Okay.
food I can make for you?
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Okay, love you guys. Thank you so much. All right, let's
Mr. Chair, do I
assuming
need
that's
to
it?
make a motion?
Go ahead, Ben.
For the minutes to approve it?
Yes,
Can I
please.
make that motion now?
Yes, please. And then anyone seconding that? Yes, all in favor? A minute's approved. The next meeting is February 12th, 6:30 p.m. And we are right at the 2-hour point. That makes me so happy.